Henshin Inspection presents Writer Tears. I will be discussing the bad and good of Geats Episode 7 and Is Competition Evil? This is MJ. I am an author, an artist, and analyzer. You can find all my work at mjmunoz.com. Kamen Geats Episode 7 originally aired October 16, 2022. The title of the episode is, according to some people, Encounter 6, Kick the Can versus Final Boss. The writer is Yuya Takahashi. The director is Kazuya Kamihoriuchi. That's right, I said that confidently. And I'm going to jump straight to the bad stuff. Does that, dear brother, you're an adult now, joke need to be in a kid's show? No. No is the answer. We don't need porn in our Digimon or in this show, okay? We don't need it. Sorry, I was really bothered. I was watching Last Evolution Kizuna with my kids, my wife and kids, and they're talking about porn under Ty's mattress. Come on! What are you doing? Sorry. Anyway, next bad thing is I find it hard to believe that the DGP... Did you know that Japan's birth rate is super low, and they've got a bunch of old people, there's more old people, they're making, more adult diapers than they are baby diapers, and one day the whole nation is going to implode because of a youth bubble, or not a youth bubble, an overpopulation, or a population imbalance because something's wrong with the culture, something's wrong. Anyway, sorry. Reining it in. I'm reining it in. Here we go. Next bad thing. I find it hard to believe that the DGP has been going on for 2,000 years or more. I'm sure it is true, but it should not be. Why? Because that is a goofy idea. Oy, the degradation of society. Decadent actually means like decaying and dying. So, and when you call like a cake or something decadent, it's not a good thing. Anyway. Moving on to the good of Geats Episode 7. I'm so sorry if this is your first time jumping on here. I don't always have outbursts like that, but when I do, they're fantastic. Anyway, I will continue and give you some good coverage of the show, because I do like it a lot, and there's a lot of good in it. It's just, I can't help but pointing out some negativity where I see it, so I'm going to do that every now and then. Good stuff, though. Ace's lost family is an interesting aspect of his character. I like how Kamihoriuchi, who plays Ace, his quiet moments of struggle and reflection are really good. It really comes across well and makes me feel sympathetic for him. It makes me want to believe in him, even though he is a bit of a jerk. Because some people are like that. They're a bit of a jerk, but they're trying to do their best. Anyway, and that Jyamato boss has a wild design. It looks and acts crazy, and the split vision POV is novel, and I really enjoyed seeing that. Alright, moving on to the questions I have. How long has this game been going on, really? Did the game look different 2,000 years ago, if in fact it was going on 2,000 years ago? Were they wearing more realistic armor with cloth and metal and things like that? Would Boost give you a chariot themed after a peacock if you were a peacock rider or not? I have different questions about it. I'd love to see a Hyper Battle video or like a little just gimmicky thing where they go back and show a little bit of a past in like the ancient world if it in fact extends that far. That'd be really cool to see. Anyway, next thing is, will this end with Jyamato being defeated once and for all? I have no idea, because it seems like the Jyamato have been defeated or overcome thousands of times. I guess like if it started 2,000 years ago and it's every 6 months, that means 4,000 times approximately the Jyamato have been overcome, which is insane. Okay, and then the big question that I had about this is competition evil? And to clarify, does competition breed evil? If so, is it all competition or just some? And I'm a capitalist. I think that if you have truly free markets and people are offering products that are fairly equivalent to each other, that eventually one of them will recede and that company will close down or shift what they're doing to focus on another area because company B has a better product or better service or some combination than company A, and the market proves that out by people choosing to give their dollars, willingly choosing to spend their money on company B's product as opposed to company A's product, even though they're similar to each other. That's good. I think that's beautiful. And there's like wisdom in the crowds, in this like decentralized network of people going at something and just by their own choices making things happen. I think they call it spontaneous order, and it's a truth. It's a reality in the market. It even goes so far as to like, somebody plans out a garden, but you can see that everybody trods through a certain path, so the grass is dead there or, suppressed, and there's, dirt that's been walked. It's because it's a desire path. It's people want to go there, so they go there. So they, you set people in a place with things around them, and they will show you how the place is best to be used. The planner doesn't always know what the best way is to meet the needs of all the people who are going to be in a building or on a campus or something like that. They can have an idea and they can try and they do what makes most sense for them, but you will see the reality is that life finds a way, and people will go where they need to, how they need to, that suits them best. So in that sort of scenario where you have people introduced to an environment and then they react to it in a certain way, and then people kind of find best practices and they keep doing those things, that there's an open field for competition, but people aren't directly competing against each other because they're not trying to get this. They're not trying to take slices from the same pie. They're just having a different kind of relationship with it versus something like this where it's a closed system, a more closed system where there can only be one winner of the Desire Grand Prix, and people can die in it and people can be eliminated, and just the structure of it, it's a more limiting structure, and it does make it so that people have to be more cutthroat in the game, including our hero Ace, who we see lying to his friends or supposed friends. He's using them as tools and pawns to get his way, and he's manipulating them, and that's not great. Those are not heroic attributes, but he is doing them, and maybe he's doing them for a good cause, but do the ends justifies the means? I don't know. And I don't think so, but I've never been in like a survival situation where I had to choose something. But even I know the guy who cut off his arm with a pocket knife because he was stuck in a boulder to get out of there. Did the ends justify the means? Yeah. Lose your limb so that you can live, but you're making the choice for you. It affects you. If you cut your limb off and then you're going to be disabled in that way, or whether or not you get a prosthetic or a prosthesis, you can live your life, but you're making that choice for yourself. You're consenting to, in this situation, make a hard choice and cut off your arm or wrist or whatever, or hand, in order to live, and you can make that choice for yourself. But if you had the choice of you and other people were stuck under a boulder and you could choose to cut off the person next to you's arm so that you could be freed, that wouldn't be a moral choice. That wouldn't be ends justify the means, I don't think. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know 100%. I am leery against it, and I think that Ace is in a bad place, and I don't think it's good. But I'll talk about that a little bit more as we go on. I'm going to go ahead and give this episode an 8 out of 10, which is kind of what I've been giving Geats a lot because it's really good, but it's not perfect. So I'll explain my reasoning. It seems Ace has won or survived thousands of GDPs and lost all memory of his family. Ace gladly used his fellow Desire Grand Prix DGP players to secure the ninja buckle for himself to win, defeat the final boss, and save the world and profit from it. Because you should profit if you win, right? Keiwa, furious at the betrayal, says he will trust no more. Due to an undisclosed rule, the Jyamato boss lives and will return to threaten the world once again. I feel sorry for Ace, even if he is a jerk to the rest of the players. I can see how playing through this sort of game for so long would ruin someone. Losing your family and never being able to actually stop the Jyamato threat must make life seem so meaningless. When winning is literally the only thing in your life, or the only real thing in your life, what does that do to you? How do you see life? How do you see people? That's heavy. Ace's brazen betrayal kind of makes me feel for Michinaga. Sorry, I still want to call him Chimichanga. And I like how it is affecting Keiwa and Neon. Neon looks so uncomfortable after seeing this uglier side of Ace, and we already know what it's done to Keiwa. Ninja looks really cool. On the other hand, Ninja looks really cool, and that duplication attack is wild. I have seen Ninja on Geats and Tycoon, and I am impressed with how good it looks on both. That final boss design is so weird and alien, and I love the dual vision POV shots, like I mentioned before. So going forward, I hope we will see 4 games over the course of this series. I would like to see Keiwa, Neon, Michinaga, and finally Ace win and see the DGP destroyed from within, or at the very least altered so it isn't a terrible death game. Now, for my Story Over Everything podcast, where I'm doing all sorts of stuff to keep myself accountable and do better writing and have an opportunity to write weekly, I have a little section in here based on the things that I'm analyzing called Lessons Learned. So lessons learned from excuse me. So my lessons no this is my lessons learned segment from Kamen Rider Geats episode 7. Your hero does not have to be likable. They can even be unlikable and still be enjoyable to watch in their world. Ace embodies this in Kamen Rider Geats. How does it work? Why do I like him despite his prickly aspects? He wins. He does cool things to win. The actor is charismatic, and there seems to be more going on with him, which either justifies him manipulating other players or makes a decent excuse for it. Does an audience want to believe in someone? Is that just me? I may not have extracted a tactic or technique, but I think these questions I'm asking are putting me closer to where I need to be to craft characters that people want more of. So next episode is going to be episode 8. It's called Encounter 7 Ninja the Ace, or something along those lines. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I thank you for your time and attention, and I encourage you to check out everything over at mjmoonius.com. I've got Super Sentai Sanctuary, Half Boiled, where I talk about Futo PI, which has had its finale, episode 12, and I'm going to talk about both those things, as well as touch on this little bit of Geats and share some new stuff over on Story Over Everything, which you can also find on mjmoonius.com. I encourage you to go there for all your MJ needs. All your good storytelling needs, your analysis of tokusatsu, anime, and more. So anyway, with all that said, I'm MJ. I leave you with peace and blessings, and I am getting out of here. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, you can find more at mjmoonius.com, as well as my entire library of analysis, art, and fiction.